Howdy and welcome to my tutorial on how to reuse Fusion assets for the iPad only. Now you're going to say to me, wait a second, I'm looking at a blank screen here and I'm hearing this guy yap. Stick with me, we'll get into the tutorial in just a moment. I need to give you a little backstory and the backstory is worth it. So I was looking for a way to reuse my Fusion assets from one project to another. So I went looking on as one does on YouTube for how to do this. And I came across this wonderful tutorial by Alex Tech. It's great. There's just one little tiny problem with it.
Now, if you actually click on the word titles, you can either right click and then show folder, or just highlight titles, click on the three little dots in the right hand corner and then show folder.
It doesn't work for the iPad. And the reason it doesn't work is because Fusion for the desktop is looking for either a desktop application and or for the Mac, the Finder. And that connection doesn't exist to the Files app of Davinci Resolve for the iPad. So we need to go find that for it and then place the files that Alex is yapping about in the right place. So let's get into it. I've got a blank project here. Obviously, I'm opening up different pages, so I've already opened up the Fusion tab here. So let's go directly into that, and let's add a background, which will automatically create a media out. So now I want to add a text node. And because I want to add a tiny little effect, but you could do this with anything. It does not matter. I'm just adding a little bit of showcase so that you can see how this is done. So let's go into my edit. Let's go into my effects and let's add this guy, Mr. Bevel, which I think is really cool. And now we're going to add a transform node right here. And now we're going to connect our text to our macro to our transform, and then the transform to the background, which creates a merge node. So let's get rid of this. We don't need it anymore. Let's remove the alpha from the background. And now we're going to type in some text. Now, typically this should, it's working, so that's good. Sometimes with the iPad, this doesn't necessarily show up the first couple of times you do it. For some reason, it doesn't render right. So now that we've got that, and you can sort of see that there's a bevel there, so let's increase use the transform node to increase the size so that we can see it clearly. And you'll see it's not all that bevelly. It's a little too much right now. So let's change the edge width. Yes, looks a little bit better. And let's change the brightness just a little bit. And bring down the gamma. Bring down the gamma. And then bring down the level just a little bit. All right, so there's a reason why I'm showing you this. So let's back all the way out. So there are 119 frames here. Let's go back to 0. And we want to come up here where it says light angle, and we want to hit the diamond there. I want to go to about 60 frames and change this to 255. And you'll notice it changed. Now we're going to go all the way to the end and hit that again and go back to 135. And watch what happens with the animation. You've already seen it, but let's do that. Yes? All right, so now we've got this really cool animation. And you're going to say to yourself, gosh, I love this animation. And we can clearly see it running there. But how do I transfer this lovely piece of work, from one project to another? What you're going to do is deselect everything. And what we want to do is select everything except for the media out. Now I want to tap and hold, and what's going to come up is this screen, this drop-down menu, or what would be considered a drop-down menu. You're going to find settings and then save as, and this dialog window comes up. The only thing that we're really interested in here is where it says computer, so we're going to tap on that. Then we're going to go there, double tap on computer, then go to go to private, then var again, then I think this is mobile, containers, data, application. Now, this is going to confuse you just a little bit because this folder right here is the same as the one on the left. However, there's one major difference. This. So now you're stuck with this directory. This directory cannot be seen from the iPad's file directory. However, it can be seen through Davinci Resolve. So what we want to do is select Library, and then go to Application Support, and now we see nearly the same folder structure as would be in Davinci Resolve. Very, very similar. There's just one major difference, is that this is the actual folder that Davinci Resolve uses. So we want to tap on Fusion, and then we want to go to Templates, and I've already created a folder here, but we want to create a folder. Call it Sample Text, and then hit Open. Now we want to name the file. And hit Save. So you're going to say to me, all right, now that I've done all that lovely stuff, now what? Okay, so let's close this and open up a new project. We'll call this New Project. Go to Create. Oops, there we go. And we have nothing here, right? Wrong. Let's go into Effects, Templates. So let's go look. I don't see it here. Let's scroll all the way down. Maybe it's... there it is, Sample Text. And Viola Margaret. Ta-da! Way cool. So that is how you transition from one to the other, from one project to another. You're welcome.